Hey everybody, I hope y'all are having a great day today. So I know I sound like a broken record by now, but we are reviewing another new foundation. So we're checking out the new Makeup Forever HD Skin Foundation. So I'm going to give you guys my first impression on this, and then we'll go over the claims to see if they match up with my first impression. And then of course we're going to be doing a wear test, and we're going to test this out on my oily, acne-prone 40+ skin. So let's jump right into it. Okay, so first let's take a quick look at the packaging. This is a standard 1-ounce bottle, but for some reason it looks more compact to me than like other foundations, so I feel like this would be good for fitting into suitcases. And I really like this lid here, and then underneath it does have a nice pump, so I really like this packaging. So let's get into a swatch. I will be checking out the shade 3R58. That shade is called Cool Hazelnut, and it's for tan to deep skin with red undertones. All right, let me give this a good shake, and I can kind of hear it moving around in there, so I'm guessing it's kind of a thin formula. Oh no, it's actually not all that thin at all. So this is what 3R58 looks like, and I think that this is going to be a pretty good match, and I feel like I'm going to be blending this one out with a sponge. Okay, so let's start off with about a pump of the foundation there. So this is going to be a pretty good shade match, it looks like. I did go into the store to look at these shades because this is my first time using an HD, not an HD Forever, a Makeup Forever foundation, because I just never thought that they had a good shade. But this one is a good shade, so I feel like right off the bat I am getting a nice medium coverage. It looks like it's setting down to like a nice natural matte finish. So far, it's reminding me of a slightly more skin-like version than this one here. I've reviewed like so many foundations lately, but it's looking more, it's reminding me of this one, but a bit more of like a skin-like finish. Maybe also very similar to the NARS foundation. I'm getting a nice blurring effect right here on the side of my nose. And it is giving me like a nice like skin-like flawless look. It's blending out really fast. Yeah, and so far I'm really liking it. So that's what one pump of the foundation looks like over here. I'm wondering if this is going to either oxidize or get darker during the day, because it is like quite red. So it's working out for me because I have pinkish undertones, so I can work with red, but this one is already pulling like quite red on me. But the finish of it looks really, really nice. It looks really pretty so far. So I'm going to put it on this side of the face while we go over the claims, and then I'll let you know if they match up with my first impressions. The Makeup Forever HD Skin Undetectable Long Wear Foundation is supposed to be a medium coverage with a natural finish. It's an undetectable liquid foundation that blurs and covers imperfections for up to 24 hours. It's powered by a micro skin system that syncs with the skin for true to skin finish. The highlighted ingredients are that micro skin system, as well as vegetable origin glycerol, which helps to preserve the initial moisturizing of the skin for 24 hours, and something I cannot pronounce, so it will be up on the screen. And this helps for radiance of the complexion during the 24 hours. This is available in 40 shades. It retails for $43, and again, I am testing out the shade 3R58, which is Cool Hazelnut. Okay guys, so here is what one layer of the foundation looks like. So the main claims on this foundation is that it's supposed to have a natural finish, it's supposed to have medium coverage, and it's supposed to be really good for blurring and covering imperfections. And I do feel like it is doing that so far. I do think that it's giving me more of like a satin or a natural matte finish as opposed to just natural, because it is quite blurring. So I'm always hesitant to say that something has a natural finish when it does a really good job at blurring, just because naturally your skin doesn't look blurred. So it is really pretty, but I would consider this more of like a natural or satin, like a soft matte finish, as opposed to a straight natural finish. But other than that, I do think that the claims are matching up to my first impressions. I was so impressed with how the One Size foundation just looked really flawless on the skin, like as soon as you applied it. And I feel like this one is doing the same thing, but just a little bit better. This one seems to blend out just a little bit faster and give you a flawless look just like pretty much instantly, which this one kind of does too, but this one is just blending out just slightly better, I think, compared to this one. So I'm going to quickly put on a second layer just on the cheeks. I always like to test and see if foundations build up and if they do in fact give us any more coverage than they're claiming to. So I am already getting a medium coverage with that first layer, but let's just put on a little bit more just to see if we get any more coverage. When foundations are buildable, they really help you to like customize your coverage. So that's why I always like to test that, because I think it's really great if you can use the same foundation for medium or full coverage, because you have some options. So I would consider this ever so slightly buildable. I don't think that you can get any more than medium coverage out of this. So like if you really wanted like a full coverage look, you would have to go on your imperfections with a concealer. But this one is just giving me a little bit more coverage with this second layer. I mean, I am getting just a little bit more coverage, but just a very little bit. Like, I don't know if I would consider this all that buildable, but it is still a really nice finish. It is really red though, so keep that in mind. So one of the reasons, well, I should say the reason that I never tried a Makeup Forever foundation before is because all of their undertones were either yellow or red, and there was like really nothing in between. So I can get away with a red undertone, but I feel like it is pulling just a little too red for my liking on me. I always go for pink undertones, but I can hardly ever find that. So this one definitely works for me, but just keep that in mind. If you've ever tried like a straight red undertone and it was just too much for you, you might need to mix with this, because I feel like this one is quite red just compared to some other foundations that I've tried. So I'm gonna go ahead and put my concealer on, and then I'll show you how the foundation has set before I set it with the powder. Okay, so concealer is on and the under eyes are set. So the foundation has been sitting on my face for about 5 minutes now, and this is what it looks like. So I think it looks the same way that it looks like when I initially applied it, and I just can't help but compare it to the One Size foundation, because that was the last one that I reviewed. I just feel like this one, it gives you like a really flawless look like right away, and it's only been like 5 minutes, but it just looks really flawless on the skin. And I do think it looks flawless but more skin-like compared to this One Size foundation. So I'm liking it so far. So I'm gonna show y'all how I'm gonna set it. I do feel like yesterday, because the One Size foundation was giving me more of like a matte finish, I did like a light dusting of powder. But today I'm gonna go in with my more dense brush. This is my typical brush for setting my foundation, and I do feel like I need to set this just a little bit more than I did with that One Size foundation. So I'm going in with my Kosas powder, and I'm picking up a good amount of powder and tapping off the excess, and like really pushing the powder into the skin. So yesterday I talked about how I didn't think that the One Size foundation was probably good for people with dry skin. So far I feel like this one, like if you liked the finish of the One Size foundation but you have like more normal to dry skin, so far I feel like this this foundation would probably be a better bet for you, because the finish is similar, but it doesn't seem to be quite as matte as the One Size one. Okay, so this is what we're looking like after the foundation is set. So let me know what your first impression is. I'm gonna go ahead and do the rest of my makeup, and then we'll start our wear test. Okay guys, here is my look for today. So I'm still really liking the foundation. It's been on my face for about maybe 20 minutes or so now, and I think it looks really pretty. So I've been having like some really good wear tests with all these new foundations coming out lately. So I'm hoping that this is another really good wear test, because I just think it looks really pretty so far. So per the usual, check my description box if you want to see what I'm wearing today. But first impression on this new Makeup Forever foundation, I think it's a very flawless, natural, soft, satin matte type of finish, and I think it blends out really well. And I think this shade is pretty nice for me. A little too red, but it's really nice. So let's get started with our wear test. I will be doing a halfway check-in, and hopefully we can make it to 8 hours for today. So it's a little after 8 o'clock in the morning, so I will see y'all around lunchtime. Hey guys, it's about 1 o'clock, so I'm a little bit late, maybe just like a half hour late on the halfway mark. I was trying to wait to go outside to do this because it's a really nice day to be outside, but it's like so much noise happening and I didn't want to wait for too long. But anyway, I am standing right in front of the door so that you can see it kind of like in natural daylight. So it's been about 5 hours now. So this is what we're looking like after 5 hours. So let me know what y'all are thinking. Ignore those little marks on the sides of my nose. That's from my glasses. But I think my face looks really good. Like, I feel like out of all of the foundations that I have been trying lately, this is my favorite so far. So I'm hoping that we stay looking really nice for another like 3-ish hours. But so far I really like it. I think it looks really nice. I do have a little bit more texture than I have been having lately, like on this side of my face, but in general, I just feel like this foundation looks really nice. So let me know what y'all think. I will be finishing up in about 3 or so hours, and then I'll give y'all my final thoughts. Okay, you guys, I am back and it's 4:30 in the afternoon. So we did about 8.5 hours today. So this is what we are looking like. What are your thoughts? Yes, I am shiny in my T-zone area, and I'm sure you guys can make that out. Despite that, though, I think that this foundation is absolutely beautiful. I don't think I'm any more shiny than like any of the other foundations that I would typically wear, and I think I'm a little less shiny than some of my favorite foundations. I think despite like my oils coming through, I think that this foundation wore very like exceptionally well on me today. So let me know what y'all think. Let me know if y'all would agree. I really like this foundation. I feel like this is going to be my most used foundation going forward, at least for the foreseeable future. But I know I have said that for some other foundations because I've tried out so many in the past few weeks, but I'm very pleased so far. So the last thing we're going to do is we're going to blot off some of my excess oil, and then I'm going to repowder, and we're just going to see how the makeup refreshes. So I'm just going to I have a clean tissue here, and I'm just blotting in my T-zone area. And when I do this, I always take note to see if any of the makeup pulls off when I do this, or does the makeup look patchy anywhere where I've blotted. And that usually doesn't happen, but I always test it just to make sure. I always try to get like kind of close to my brows because I get pretty oily right there. Okay, and here is what we look like after we blot and refresh the makeup, and I think it looks absolutely beautiful. So my final thoughts on this new Makeup Forever HD Skin Foundation. I feel like I may have found my new favorite foundation. I know I may have said that quite a few times over the past few months because I've been trying out a whole lot of new things, but out of all of the ones that I've tried over the past like maybe couple months or so, this one I think is my favorite. Like, I just love the way that it wore on me. Yes, I did get shiny as I did with any other foundation, but even with me getting shiny, to me the makeup still looked really nice and intact, really nice and flawless, and I'm just blown away by how well this wore on me. I really like this. So I feel like for people with oily skin, you should definitely try it out. Normal skin, I think you'll do well with this too. If you have dry skin and you've tried this, let us know how you made out in the comments. I don't know if I mentioned earlier that on the website it does say that this is more for normal to oily skin. It doesn't specify dry skin. So if you have dry skin and you've tried it, let us know, you know, how you made out. But speaking for oily skin especially, I would highly recommend this. So those are my final thoughts on this new foundation. Let me know what you think in the comments. If you like the video, let me know by giving me a thumbs up. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel before you head out, and I will see y'all back here for my next one. Until then, take care. Have a good one, y'all. Bye.